Welcome everybody to Athletically Speaking episode Trace number 3. I have Ryan back again for this episode, and today we are talking college football, hot or not, for 2023 season. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I mean, say
We're surviving.
We're surviving.
We're making it.
It's mediocre at best, but hey, I'm alive.
Hey, we're here. All right, so today I'm gonna give you a list of 15 teams in college football.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me if in 2023 this team is gonna be hot, which means they're gonna be good and they got the hype building for them, or if they're not.
That's right.
Which means they're in the basement, or if they're trending downward for this season.
Yep.
Everybody understand that?
I can do that.
Excellent, great. So the first team I got for you, and I'll start this thing off.
All right.
Is Colorado, hot or not? And I think Colorado, for considering what they were last year, I think they're going to be hot. I think Deion Sanders, I'll also tell you, hot is for Colorado hot.
Okay, yeah.
They're not going to be winning natties.
Are we on like
year
Georgia
one.
level hot?
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not there yet. Colorado this year will be hot for Colorado. They went 1-11 last year.
Yeah.
I think Deion Sanders is going to spark something there. I think they're bringing in a lot of transfers, the best of the best that Jackson State had. He brought with them. Mm-hmm. They're getting a lot of transfers from other places.
That's right.
I think Colorado, mind you, this doesn't sound great, but I think Colorado is down for 6-6, 7-5, and that's a huge step from what it was last year.
For real. Absolutely. So, Oklahoma, hotter.
Colorado for you.
Oh.
Yes.
Dang it, I screwed up.
It's okay.
All right. Well, Colorado, with the record of 1-11, you can't do literally. Well, you could do worse. You could win no games. I was going to say, but you can't really do any worse than that. So you can only come up from there. When you're at rock bottom, you got to go up somehow. So I think that Coach Sanders being there will spark something up, like you said. I think he'll bring some life to this program and give them something that they've been missing. They have several new transfers, including a group of wide receivers. Travis Hunter, Xavier Weaver, Jimmy Horn Jr. I think that they're going to do great things. So they can't be any worse. So I guess I'll say hot for Colorado.
For the standard of Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that on your phone?
Next team.
Okay.
Oklahoma, hot or not?
I'll say hot for him. I know everyone, a lot of people in the Big 12 that normally don't struggle as much. They struggled last season, but they got Dylan Gabriel coming back on the offensive side, and he was the best or one of the best in the Big 12 conference. So I think they'll be hot for Oklahoma. I mean, this is one of the worst records they've had in a long time.
Since
and
the turn of the century.
What even was it? A 7 and 5?
6 and 7.
Okay, it's not overextended. Okay, yeah, I think they'll be good coming back, considering that was the lowest, and that's a lot of teams normal. So I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be hot.
I think I'm gonna lean just ever so hot on Oklahoma as well. I think Venables in year 2 is going to have a lot more figured out than what he did taking a first head coaching job in year 1. He's going to have more stability on him. He's going to have experience now in situations. I think the defense should be better. He got a lot of transfers coming in from different places. Deshaun McCullough, the kid from Oklahoma State that transferred in, he's going to be there. And then Wayne Boythroyd, I think I'm butchering that name, but he came from Wake Forest. I think he'll be able to help out a lot, so I'm going to lean hot towards him as well. Next up, Alabama. I feel like Alabama. I think I'm going to have to. This one's rough because I'm going to say hot for right now, but Alabama has the chance to lose 3 games for the first time in a long time. We have a very inexperienced quarterback. We don't know who their quarterback's going to be. The defense, they almost lost to Texas. They did lose to Tennessee and LSU last year, and they had Bryce Young and Will Anderson. Those people are gone.
They are.
I'm not sure. Obviously they can replace them. They have top recruiting classes every year.
Yeah.
But I think we're comparing Alabama to Alabama. I'm sure they're going to be good and they'll be hot, but I'm just not sure if they'll be able to pull out some of these games that they just barely did last year with the caliber what they had last year.
Yeah.
But hot for now.
So yeah, I don't think that with the people that they lost this year, and like you said, how high of caliber players they were, I don't see them being any better this year. But it's Alabama. They're held to a very high expectation, so everyone's going to view them differently. And like I said, just hold them to a higher expectation. So I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't think they'll be any better. I'm not going to say like hot or not. I don't know. I really don't know.
Or a nice medium.
A nice medium. There's just a team to watch, and we'll see how they do in this coming season. So medium.
All right. Next, Florida State.
With Florida State, they did really well last season. Like I said in the previous episode, they retained quarterback Jordan Davis. So they have a running back Trey Benson. That'll be great for them. And transfer out of South Carolina, Jaheim Bell. I think they'll be hot. They were my number one pick for winning the conference in the ACC. So I'll say hot. They got some things going for them. They're a team to watch also.
I'm going to say hot as well. Florida State's bringing back a lot of talent on a team that won 10 games last year. That team's going to be very dangerous in the ACC. I think they're going to be very dangerous on the national scene. The ACC is not a great conference. They have to compete with Clemson and maybe like an NC State, which they should be able to beat. I think Florida State could easily win 11 games and be in the playoff conversation, as well as Jordan Travis being in the Heisman conversation later on in the year. I'm very high on Florida State. Next up, Notre Dame. I think this is my first not. I don't think Notre Dame's in a great place. I'm not sure that Coach Smart is going to be able to really right the ship in this year. They have Sam Hartman coming in from Wake Forest as a transfer. I think that will help them offensively, considering they lost to Marshall and a couple bad games that they probably shouldn't have lost last year. I think that's rough. But I'm not sure that he's going to be able to fix all the problems. They need some help, and I'm saying not for Notre Dame.
Yeah. I'll say not. Like you said, they have Sam Hartman. He had 12,964 passing yards last season, 110 touchdowns.
I feel like that's a total.
Well,
in the career.
In the career. Anyways, but you can't rely all on one player. So, I'm gonna also say no on this one. I can't think of anyone else that's relevant right now. I think so.
Next up, Clemson.
Clemson. I'm gonna say hot. I think they're getting better. They've got a decent quarterback as of right now. They definitely, I don't know. They've got to rebuild a lot on the offensive line, like we've talked about before. They lost their left tackle to the NFL. He was a 3-year starter, set a record for the program, and lost several other guys to the draft as well. I don't know. I think they'll be hot, a team to watch. They were actually my number 2 pick for the ACC conference, but they're a team to watch, I think. It's Clemson, so it's been a few years since they've been relevant, but I will say hot just because.
I'm gonna go with not for Clemson. I'm not sure Cade Klubnik was gonna help at the quarterback position. They don't have a lot of skill position receivers around him to help him. I think the running game will be fine for Clemson. I think the biggest thing for Clemson is going to be their defense, and whether or not Klubnik will have people to throw to that can help him out. I just don't think that's going to be great. I also have them number 2 in the ACC as of now, but right now I'm just saying not for Clemson. Next up, LSU. This is a team that I'm very high on, and I'm going to say hot. Brian Kelly in year 1 beat Alabama and played for an SEC championship. Granted, they got smoked by Georgia, but there's building blocks there that a step 2 can put them at another 10, 11 win season this year. And I could very easily see LSU winning the West, coming back again this year.
Absolutely, yeah. For me, it's kind of the same deal with Clemson. I mean, it's LSU. They've been very well in the past. They've got a pretty good guy right now, quarterback Jaden Daniels. Had more than 3,800 yards in the total in offense last season with 29 touchdowns. He's got a solid team around him. I think that they will be fine. It's LSU, so
They got people.
They got people.
All right, next up on our list, Tennessee.
For me, I'm going to say hot. They did really well. I mean, last season they led the nation in total yards in an offense per game. Sometimes my handwriting is a little sloppy. They had about 525.5 yards per game. Joe Milton III had through about 971 yards. Sometimes my other things are a little.
They get much together right there.
I know they get it. They really do get much together. But anyways, they will be hot. I think they're a team to look for this year as well to continue the good things they did this last season.
I got Tennessee as well. I think if Josh Heupel can do what he did with Hendon Hooker, who came in from Virginia Tech last year, I think he can do the same thing with McKenzie Milton. I think Tennessee's going to come out. Their defense is going to be a lot better this year, and I think the offense is going to stay the same. You pair those two together, and you're going to have a dangerous Tennessee team. This team is going to be the only competition that Georgia plays all year long, and I think they have a very good chance of winning that game. I think they're going to have a chance of beating Alabama at Alabama again. Tennessee is very much so. I wouldn't consider them a dark horse necessarily, but they have a chance to go in, win the East, and play for an SEC title.
Absolutely.
Next up, Penn State. I like Penn State a lot this year. I'm hot on them. I think this is going to be the best team that James Franklin has put together in a long time, since 2016. They had Saquon. I think this is going to be a more complete team than what he had there. I think he's going to be able to split Michigan and Ohio State and win one of those games and be in contention for the Big Ten title and possibly a playoff spot. Will that happen? I don't know. There's a lot to be seen there on the field, but they have the pieces to put it together to actually get it going.
Absolutely. I'll say hot for their conference. They're usually, top of the line for their considerable a good program. We got a couple of transfers to look out for. Dante Cephas from Kent State, Malik McCain transfer from Florida State. Kind of just everything you said. I think that they are also another good team to watch.
The pieces are there.
They definitely have the puzzle there.
Penn State, if you put them in the West of the Big Ten, they're playing for a title every year.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go through both Michigan and Ohio State, and that's a terrible place. Last year, Penn State was 10-2. If you put them in the West, they don't have to play one of those teams. They're playing for a Big Ten title.
Absolutely.
Chance to go to the playoff, and that's been throughout history. Penn State's a good program. It's just getting them, put them in any other conference, and they're probably winning that conference. That's just the way it is. All right. Washington.
I'll say no. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'll say I don't know.
A warm.
Warm.
Chilling.
Chilly. Yeah. I think they're. We'll say lukewarm. Last season they were the second best offense. They had about 515.8 yards per game. And their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., was second in passing yards last season with 4,641 passing yards. So that is definitely something to look forward to.
Second to Caleb Williams.
Yeah. So, I mean, they got good things going for them. Say warm.
I'm going to say warm as well. I think Washington, Michael Penix Jr. is going to be really what makes Washington go. If he can play well, he can carry the team through some of those tougher games that they're going to see down the stretch, and even possibly get them to where they want to be in a Pac-12 title game. I'm not sure how the defense will handle this year. There's a lot of quarterbacks. The Pac-12 is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Rising at Utah, Caleb Williams at SC. There's good quarterbacks all over the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
How the secondary of Washington can handle those teams will be important to how they play consistently throughout the whole year, and not losing stupid games that they shouldn't is going to be key to them bringing that out. All right, TCU. TCU is a big fat knot.
No. I think we can both agree on that. It's like
They caught lightning in a bottle last year.
They did.
They had tons of seniors and 6-year seniors from COVID.
Yeah.
They're getting that extra COVID year. They skimmed through the entire Big 12 season. They're the opposite of Oklahoma. Oklahoma lost like 5 games by less than 7 points. I think TCU won the exact same of that amount by barely 7 points.
Yeah.
They've had to come back every single one of their games. Somebody lost a quarterback in just about every one of those games that cost them. TCU had it perfectly set out for them. Granted, they beat Michigan. That was a good game.
Yeah.
They were a good team.
Yeah, they were.
But it ain't happening again.
No, the starters are perfectly aligned for those guys.
For that to happen.
And
I think they're going to be 6-6. They might even make that out. They could be pushing 5-7 this year.
I was going to say maybe a little bit less than that. Yeah, definitely for me that's a no-go. I don't see anything happening for those guys. So yeah, no.
Sorry, TCU. It is.
It ain't happening for you, man. Like,
next up, Oregon.
Oregon.
I think I went out.
Oh yeah. Oregon. We got a few new receivers and offensive linemen from the transfer portal. Transfer portal is a very wonderful thing for some teams and the envy of others. But I'll also say lukewarm. I can't see them doing any worse. What's your input on what do you think?
I went back and forth. I think they're going to be hot this year. I made a TikTok and somebody commented Bo Nix because I did the top 5 quarterbacks for 2023, and they were mad that I put Bo Nix in there. I think Bo Nix will be good.
Yeah.
He's not going to be with the top of the top. I think their offense will be fine. This will be kind of the same thing with Washington. I need to see how their defense is going to be. So I'm going to put them down as leaning hot. But if they can get the defense going and the offense goes back to its electricness that it used to have, then I think Oregon could be really good. Next up, Wisconsin. I have Wisconsin is warm because I think Luke Fickell, coming in from Cincinnati, is going to bring alive this offense. They've got transfer quarterbacks coming in. It's going to make the difference on the offensive side of the ball. Wisconsin is known for their running game and powering through teams. That's not going to be the case anymore. They're reinventing the offense. It's going to be more modern. There's going to be a lot of passing and air raid type of style. I think Wisconsin's finally gonna take that step that it needed to take in the West, which is not a hard division to play in.
No.
This is, I mean, you got the Nebraskas, Indiana, Northwestern. Like, you're not playing difficult teams.
No.
Everybody that's difficult is on the opposite side. You can easily win this division, and they're popping out 9-10 games this year, I believe.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'll say hot. Just for Wisconsin, it's not a tough conference that they're in. They did get the new transfer quarterback from SMU. I think he'll do good things. I think the last 2 seasons, he threw for over 7,100 yards or something like that. Had 72 touchdowns in his last 2 seasons. So he brings, pretty good experience just from a school like SMU to Wisconsin. So I'll say hot, and they got some, pieces around them who they can work with. So I'll say hot for them.
And SMU was good. They did great in the American with him under center.
Yeah.
Next up, Georgia.
I'll say I feel kind of it's like they're the back-to-back champs, so it's like you feel obligated to say that they're gonna be good. But I mean, I'll say hot. I think they lost Bennett. They got a couple good pieces. They got to get a tight end. I don't know. I'll say hot for Georgia.
I'm going to say warm for the sole purpose. I'm not. At some point, their dominance has to come to an end. At least for this year, because Stetson Bennett's gone. We don't know who's going to take over at quarterback. A lot of unproven talent that could be there. We don't know. Then the defense lost a bunch of people. Can they reload? Their schedule is the absolute easiest it could possibly be.
Yeah.
Tennessee is their only good game.
Mm-hmm.
They should easily cakewalk through this until they get to the SEC championship, if they get there, if Tennessee doesn't beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgia's warm. We're going to have to see it because they're not going to get tested until later on in the year.
No, they should have a cakewalk of the season. I forgot about how easy their schedule was.
Schedule.
They definitely. I forgot about that, but looking back, when they did drop that schedule, I was like, are you kidding me? So, yeah.
Next up, Ohio State. I think Ohio State is also a warm for me. They lost some people to the draft.
They did.
Kind of in the same boat as Georgia. Can they replace those people?
Mm-hmm.
They're not the best team in the Big Ten because that's going to be Michigan again.
No, yeah.
Ohio State, I'm just not sure about them. I think I'm leaning warm, but that could change rather quickly once they hit the field.
Yeah. I would say warm too. I'm not too aware of who they've got up and coming, to be honest, but they did lose some guys to the draft. But it's Ohio State, so I feel warm. They've got a great recruiting class, great set of coaches. I'm not going to count them out, so we'll see what they do.
All right, that's 15 teams.
Yeah, shoot.
That's hot or not. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube, hit us up. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Until next time, see you later.
Ciao.